Hey everyone, so me and Karen are going on a road trip right now to Tumbler Ridge, and we stayed our first night here in Cache Creek. We stayed in this motel called Sunset Motel, which is I think the only legitimate motel here in this city, because I was looking at the website and a lot of places look kind of sketchy. So Karen's right here, right beside me. And what do you think of our little road trip so far?
I like it.
Yeah, so we're going to Prince George right now. So it's gonna be about a 5-hour drive. So yesterday we already drove 4 hours, and we're gonna go get started right now. So we'll see you as we go along in this journey. Alright, so me and Karen just made it to 100 Mile House as part of our road trip, and we're gonna stop here and look for a place to eat. We're eyeing this family restaurant called Smitty's, so hopefully we can get some bite to eat there and continue our journey from here. 100 Mile House is actually a pretty neat town in the middle of our road trip to Prince George right now, and our end goal again is Tumbler Ridge, which we're gonna hope to reach by tomorrow.
Should we look at the food?
Yeah. Alright, so me and Karen just made it here in Prince George, and it was a 5-hour drive before we got ourselves here. Thankfully the drive wasn't too bad. We did get a bite to eat partway, and we also went to a Chevron gas station to take a nap for 20 minutes, so that really helps. It was also during the day, which also helps, because yesterday night we drove at night, making it more difficult to drive. So that 5 hours that we drove today to get here to Prince George wasn't as bad. And it was also very scenic, which again really makes the drive more pleasant. And it's pretty much a straight line, and there's not much obstacle except for this one section where it rained hard and there was some puddles of water, and I was afraid we're gonna hydroplane, and there was one moment I did hydroplane a little bit, but otherwise it was fine. Anyways, we're here now, we're gonna relax, we're exhausted, we're gonna grab a bite to eat, and then we're gonna continue our journey tomorrow to Tumbler Ridge.
Special? Is that what you got? Oh. One? Oh. It's tiny. Look.
Salad.
Onions!
Let's we'll take it off the onions.
There we go.
And there we go.
That's it. Dinner, dinner, dinner.
Then let's open yours.
Which one's mine?
Yours tzatziki, right?
Yeah.
TZ, yeah.
Nicely wrapped. Can I eat it?
Yep.
Yummy.
Alright, so me and Karen, we just left Prince George a while back, and we've been driving for about an hour and a half or so, 2 hours. And yeah, it's been like one of the most scenic drives we've ever done. However, if you can zoom into the truck right there with the camera. So this truck has been a dickbag. It's been tailgating us for the last 30 minutes or so, and it's been driving really close. So, you know what? This truck is an asshole. Otherwise, besides this truck being an asshole, you can see the background right now is quite scenic. And you know, Karen's being my helper here that's been feeding me, keeping me alive while we're going on this long drive and taking this like very scenic drive here in northern DC. Right now we are on our way to Dawson Creek, where we're gonna go check out a bridge, and afterwards we're gonna go resupply, get some food, and after we get some food we're gonna go to Tumbler Ridge, which is our home base for the next 4 days, because we're going to be doing a lot of hiking and some adventure travel. So we'll take a view of the landscape one more time as we're going on this wonderful journey. And that's about it. We'll see you soon, hopefully, when we get to Dawson Creek. Okay, so me and Karen is in Chetwynd, and she's in the car right now. You can see her.
Hi.
And we just finished eating at Tim Hortons, and we're going to continue our road trip, now going to Dawson Creek. We're gonna go see a bridge before we end up going to Tumbler Ridge. So we'll see you there. Kuche.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Okay, we're now walking to the Puche Kuche train, and then we're gonna head back afterwards. And here is the train tracks. It's gated. All right, so me and Karen just made it here in Tumbler Ridge. We are staying at Trend Mountain Hotel. Is that the name of this place that we're staying at? Something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, and we decided to splurge a little bit. At first I was gonna book something else, but I felt like since we were staying here for 4 nights that we should get our own kitchen. So we decided to book a place that had a kitchen. And the funny thing is the stove that they have here is the exact same stove we have in our apartment. So we already know how to use it. There's also a nice fridge. The washroom is quite nice too. You know, we've been traveling, staying at like some inns and some motels lately. So it's nice to have a proper washroom after traveling and feeling a little bit tired, and you know, just wanted to feel clean. And the bedroom is also quite sizable. And this is like the bedroom, which is quite comfortable. So we're looking forward to just relaxing today, unwinding, because the next few days we're gonna go do some hiking, exploring, and we're gonna go just take our time to just get away from Vancouver and just have a nice time here in Tumbler Ridge. So we'll see you tomorrow on the first part of our adventure here in Tumbler Ridge. We're not sure where we're gonna go because it depends on the weather. They said it might rain in the next few days, but we'll see, and hopefully it doesn't rain that bad. So we'll see you then. We now made it to the trailhead of Bootski Lake, and there's Karen in the parking lot, only 3 cars, and we're gonna start our ascent up this mountain. All right, so yesterday, me and Karen, we went to do the hike called Bootski Lake hike, and it's about an hour, 20-minute drive from Tumbler Ridge, where we are staying. And we made a lot of bad decisions before we went there yesterday, and I think we are better prepared now. So in the past, when we have done longer hikes, one of the biggest problems that we've had is we don't bring enough food. And so yesterday we did prepare a lot of food and a lot of water, and in that sense we were okay. Now the bad thing was that when we left the city, I didn't leave with a lot of gas, so I was afraid that we would run out of gas by the time we would come back to the city. Thankfully it wasn't as far as I thought, because the drive there it's long on the map. It's an hour 20 minutes away from Tumbler Ridge. Not because it's far, but because we are driving on gravel roads. So when you're driving on gravel road, you're driving between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, which really slows down your drive. It doesn't mean it's far, it just means you're driving slow. That's why it's so long when you look at a GPS. So we were actually okay gas-wise. Some places where we were more in trouble, our phones was actually running out of battery, which we were relying on for GPS. So we forgot to bring our external charger with us. And we do have it. We just left it in our accommodation for some reason. So next few days when we go hiking and go sightseeing, we're definitely gonna always bring that external charger so we don't get caught with our pants down like we did yesterday. It was also super cold at the top of the hike, so we didn't stay too long at the top. And it was quite a muddy hike too. So there was a lot of creeks and muddy patches that you can't avoid, and you do have to submerge yourself into. So our feet was drenched and it was super wet. Thankfully we did get a chance to wash our shoes, our hiking shoes, yesterday night, and now they are drying. The hike itself was all right. It was okay. There was a lot of bugs, which I didn't like too much, but the hike itself wasn't as hard as we thought. So even though it was graded as a difficult hike, we were actually okay. We got up no problem. Our knees felt fine. Karen didn't have any knee issues. I didn't have any knee issues. And on the way down, we actually got down in record speed. I was so surprised how quickly we got down. Now, I am partially lactose, or I am lactose intolerant. I did eat an omelet with cheese on it before going to the hike, which gave me some migraines when I was hiking, so I'm not gonna do that again. Just some of the lessons that we learned moving forward so that we can be better prepared for going to hikes. Now, one of the things that really made me choke was that one of the reasons why I wanted to do the Bootski Lake hike is because it's very scenic, and I wanted to fly my drone over it and get a nice scenic view. So since getting my drone, I haven't gotten a chance to use it a lot because there's a lot of places that restrict you from using your drone. And Tumbler Ridge is one of those places where drones are allowed to fly. I was so excited to fly it. By the time I got there, the biggest problem was that my phone was running out of battery. It was at like 18% by the time I connected to my drone. And my drone wouldn't let me fly very far because it was running out of battery. So I didn't get to fly it and take any footages, which leaves me choke actually. So I'm hoping that I can fly my drone today, as well as the next few days, and get those nice drone shots that I wanted to get. So today the plan is to go to this place called Kinuseo Falls, which is in Monkman Provincial Park. The good thing about this place is the hike to the falls it's really short. We're gonna make sure we get lots of gas before we go there, bring our external charger so we don't get caught with our pants down like we did yesterday. We might also check out the Flatbed Creek, where apparently there's a lot of dinosaur footprints, so that's also a nice little side trip we're gonna do today. And if we have time, we might check out the dinosaur museum as well. So today, that's gonna be our plan of action. And then following up this week, we're gonna go check out Mount Spieker, which is gonna be a hike. It's nowhere near as hard as what we did yesterday. I think it's a 3 to 4 hour hike. I feel like we could probably do it in 3 hours. And it's just a moderate hike, so it's gonna be nice to just do a moderate hike. Anyways, we'll see you when we get to Kinuseo Falls. All right, so we are now in Monkman National Park or Provincial Park, sorry, and we're gonna go see Kinuseo Falls. And this is what it looks like for the billboard. And we're just gonna go walk in the path and see what this falls looks like. Okay, so this is our last night in Tumbler Ridge, and I would have to say it's been quite the adventure that me and Karen had this past few days. So basically, the day after we saw Kinuseo Falls, we were planning on originally hiking Mount Spieker, but we were so burnt out from hiking that we decided that for that day, what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna see the Dinosaur Museum here in Tumbler Ridge, and we're gonna check out a diner just to eat some local food and then just relax. And this turned out to be the best idea that we've had, because by today, we weren't burnt out anymore and we were ready for one last adventure before we leave Tumbler Ridge. So for today, we end up going to the Mount Spieker hike. And the main reason why I was dreading doing that hike to begin with was because you have to drive on this gravel road and it's very bumpy and it's quite like tedious to drive on it. But turns out the road wasn't too bad. It was still gravelly and I still had to drive slow, but nowhere near as bad as when we did the Bootski Lake hike or going to Kinuseo Falls. Now, the hike for Mount Spieker was actually pretty good. It was pretty decent. And the thing about it was that it's one steep incline to the top, and once you're at the top, it's fairly flat-ish. I mean, there's still some incline, but it's fairly flat. Now, there's 3 pathways you can choose from, and we ended up going to the wrong path because we wanted to go to this path that was the most scenic, and the most scenic path is actually not to the peak of Mount Spieker. I mean, the whole top is essentially the peak, but the peak itself has no view, right? So we ended up going to the peak of Mount Spieker, which was viewless, which sucked. The only good thing about going to that peak hike was that we got to see a lot of marmots along the way, and they're super cute and they're super fun, and they're not scared of humans, so we got a chance to take some pictures of them, and that was really cool. We also saw a few hikers and ATV riders on the top, so that was pretty neat as well. Now, actually, what happened was that we got lost a few times because we weren't sure which peak to go, so we wasted some time going up several inclines. We actually ended up going to this one ridge that was not marked at all, and Karen got freaked out going there because it was not very pleasant to go there. It's like you're stepping on moss and moldy looking rocks, and it's crunchy, it's kind of gross, so we left that place. Now, at this point I was getting hungry, so we went back to the place where there's a junction to choose which path you would go to, and I ate some peanut butter jelly sandwich as well as some strudels, which we got from the hotel. Now, this is when things went from good to really bad. So basically, I decided I wanted to fly my drone because I don't get a chance to practice flying my drone in the Vancouver area because most places in Vancouver does not allow you to fly your drone. So I decided I want to fly my drone here and take some really great landscape footage of Mount Spieker, which is so beautiful when it comes to mountain landscape. So when I actually went there and I flew my drone, so far so good at first. The drone circled around me and Karen and it made a really nice video. However, that's when things went bad afterwards. My drone started flying away from me and I could not get it to go back to me. It actually got to the point where I lost my viewpoint of the drone and I was so freaked out. Like, I was feeling sick to my stomach thinking that I was gonna lose my drone. Karen was also freaked out. The wind was just so strong at the top that the drone was being pushed away. Luckily for me, I hit the home button for the drone, and after some time, we did see the drone eventually fly back to us. but it wouldn't land, and the wind was just pushing at it so hard. So I ended up getting the drone as low as possible so I can catch it with my hand. And when I did catch it with my hand, the drone actually injured me. So I don't know if you can see it, but in the back right here, cover here right now. So the drone actually shredded a part of my skin, but at least I got the drone back. And that was so scary. My nerves were shot when that happened. It was one of the worst experiences I've ever had. I think everyone who's ever flown a drone will probably experience this at some point, where your drone is flying away from you and you don't know if you're gonna get it back. I was definitely scared to death. After that happened, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna go hike back down and go back to town and enjoy a nice dinner, because that's too much excitement for one day. Overall, our trip to Tumbler Ridge has been spectacular. I absolutely love Tumbler Ridge. This city is so relaxing, and if you're like an outdoorsy kind of person who likes to go hiking or camping or trekking or anything that is involving outdoor stuff, then you're gonna love it. Now, I'm not an outdoorsy stuff per se, but I do like a good adventure, and Tumbler Ridge provided us with that adventure. There's a lot of dinosaur related anthropology here too, so if you like that kind of stuff, which I love that stuff, it was also a perfect place for you to visit. Tomorrow we're gonna leave Tumbler Ridge. It's gonna be an 8-hour drive to go to 100 Mile House, where we're gonna stay overnight on our way back to Vancouver, because it's a long drive to Vancouver. I think it's about 12 and a half hours or 13 hours to get from Tumbler Ridge to Vancouver. And so we're gonna stay there overnight. I personally saw 100 Mile House before. Me and Karen had lunch there and it was really nice. So we decided we're gonna stay there overnight. Anyways, that's about it. I'm starving to death. So me and Karen are just cleaning up because we just finished doing the hike and we were filthy. And we're gonna go get ourselves a nice dinner. And tomorrow we're gonna drive back on our way to Vancouver. Again, stopping at 100 Mile House first overnight. And then the next day we're gonna drive back to Vancouver. So we'll see you then. Oh man, what a crazy trip. So basically after we arrive in 100 Mile House, the next day when we were driving back to Vancouver, my car just died. It absolutely died. The engine stopped working. It was sputtering and we got to the side of the road. Then we started panicking and we called several towing companies and also car repair places as well, so that we can get the car repaired and they can come in and hopefully fix it so that we can drive back to Vancouver. We decided to stay in the 100 Mile House for 2 more days so that we can sort out this problem. Long story short, the car was towed. Thankfully, we were not too far from the city. It was 15 minutes drive away. So the tow truck came after about 1 hour. The guy that towed our car back to the city was super nice. He got the car onto the tow truck, no problem. And he also helped us find a place that can take a look at the car on that same day, because all the other places that can repair cars are fully booked, with the closest one being 2 days from the day that the car had died. We ended up going to this place, which is a Chrysler dealership, and after they got a chance to look at the car, they basically went up to me and said, hey, you know, your car has no oil left and it's pretty much dead. It costs $2,000 to replace the engine, and we don't recommend you doing that because your car has so much mileage that it's just not worth it. It's better for you to just replace your car. Now, I mean, part of me thought that it was a ploy because they're trying to sell us a new car, and the manager did come up to us and say, hey, maybe we want to take a look at the cars in the lot. But we made it clear that we're not looking for cars to purchase at the time, and at the same time, we were stumped. So I had to make that decision whether to get the car repaired or just give it away, because another option that they gave me was another local mechanic place is willing to take the car off my hand, but they're not gonna pay me for the car because they said the car is not worth paying for me for, because my car is a Toyota Echo and the parts are not gonna be worth as much. So the best they can do is take it from me for free. And because the car was dead, I told them I'll give it a thought whether I want it repaired or if I wanted to give it away. So we decided to book another night at 100 Mile House. Thankfully, my youngest sister decided to come rescue us and drove all the way from Vancouver to come grab us. They decided to stay overnight as well. So the next day we went back to the dealership and I sadly just told them, hey, you know, just take the car. It's not worth anything anymore. It's on its last leg. Even before I left, I actually got an oil change before I left. The guy that was doing the oil change for my car said, you know, don't bother repairing anything in your car. It's pretty much on your last leg. Just drive it until it's dead and then go buy a new car afterwards. So as of making this video, I have no car anymore, which sucks. So I'm kind of stuck at home and, you know, just doing my work here because I can't go anywhere. So I'm waiting to get a chance to hopefully get a new car at some point. It won't be a new car, it'll be a used car. But that was the ending of our adventure to Tumbler Ridge. Now, Tumbler Ridge was absolutely amazing. I love that place. I would definitely go back, but I don't know if I will ever drive there again. I think if I go back to Tumbler Ridge, I think I will probably fly to Dawson Creek or Prince George, rent a car from those places, and then drive to Tumbler Ridge because it's just not worth the hassle of driving there only for your car to break down and die. That's the end of that car. It's been a good ride. At least it went out with a bang going to this awesome place called Tumbler Ridge, which I will definitely return to one day, someday in the future. Anyways, I hope that you like this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.